pantry. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to the Virtual Chefs to the Rescue, Day 4. Thank you for joining us tonight and helping us actually eliminate hunger and food waste. If you missed last night's broadcast, you can watch it on Facebook, YouTube, or following the link on our bio on Instagram. Last night's recap, we heard from our grants and marketing manager, Patty Larson. We met the chef at the Summit House restaurant in Fullerton, Tim Plum. We also went to El Sereno's Victory Outreach and met Pastor Ben Garcia. And we had a closing by our operations manager, Veronica Tashakor. In summary, we learned that Chef Tim Plum shared his delicious potato au gratin recipe right on our website. And we learned also that Pastor Ben's nonprofit is just one of 400 agencies that rely on our services to feed their food insecure families. Those are some things that I did not know. It's very good to watch those. Go back and watch the replay. Tuesday's recap, we heard from Patty Larson that day. We also met the co-owner of Cluck and Blaze, Vache. We got a chance to see our work in action at Cal State Long Beach ASI Beach Pantry, as well as hearing from Lisa Hoffmaster, our fund development manager. In summary, you learned about one of the most important factors with food donors is the relationship built between the restaurant and the agency, and that some of the restaurants are unaware of state laws that allow them to donate. And also that it takes $500 to restock a college pantry. What happened on Monday? Monday's recap, we obviously heard from our executive director, Diana Lara. We witnessed the amazing acrobatics of Bossy Flyer, and we heard from one of our volunteers, Carolyn Remley. In summary, this pandemic magnified our hunger problem even more, and how we at Food Finders had to pivot in how we work with our restaurant and agency partners. We learned about the Food Finders app and how it came at a time when, well, we needed it most to find the volunteers that we needed. You can make a difference by donating to Food Finders. Every dollar donated allows us to provide 11 meals. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Satyagraha Alliance, the philanthropic arm of Matern Law Group. Thank you. We'd like to thank FarmLink for connecting farms with surplus produce to food banks in need. Thank you to Grocery Outlet. Thank you to California Resources Corporation, Energy by California, or for California by Californians. Thank you to BJ's Restaurant. Thank you to Kaiser Permanente and Commercial Bank of California. Thank you to Edco Disposal. And thank you to P2S Inc. We also like to thank Marathon Petroleum, Farmers and Merchants Bank, and our key sponsor for tonight. Thank you to Molina Healthcare. Thank you to them once again. Thank you to all of our sponsors. Thank you to you donors. We want to make sure that you go on Facebook to like Food Finders, our page, and also follow us on Instagram at Food Finders LBC. Tonight, we're going to get to hear from Ramona and Tina. We're going to meet them over at the Upward Bound House. We're also going to meet the executive chef, Pete Lehmar, over at Gladstone's Long Beach. But right now, let's get into it and hear from Patty Larson, our grants and marketing manager. Patty?
Hi, I'm Patty Larson with Food Finders. Thank you for joining us on day 4 of our virtual Chefs to the Rescue event. We're excited to share another restaurant partner and agency partner with you. We also have a drawing for restaurant gift cards once again, and today we are including Gladstone's in Long Beach as part of the drawing. So please donate to support this event and you could be a winner. Gladstone Seafood restaurant is a favorite in Long Beach to locals and tourists, especially because it's located down by the beautiful marina right across from the Pike in Long Beach. They've been partnering with Food Finders for a number of years. Chef Pete, their executive chef, does an amazing job keeping things running efficiently in their kitchen. But like many restaurants, though they cater large events sometimes, and they'll have unserved food that can't be used on their menu. So the next day, unfortunately, they can't serve it, but that delicious food will get donated uh, through Food Finders to a local program like Christian Outreach and Action, where hundreds of people receive food and meals every single day. Chef Pete is going to be cooking one of his signature dishes and sharing about Gladstone's partnership with Food Finders. After that, we're going to Santa Monica up the coast to visit Upward Bound House. One of the things that I really love about working at Food Finders is hearing the amazing positive outcomes as a result of our program, which we share with all of you throughout the year. When we visit our agencies, we meet some of the most kind, giving people. These are the people who run the programs that we support. And they are community members that have made it their purpose in life to help others thrive. And Upward Bound House is a perfect example of this. They provide transitional housing. In addition to on-site residents, they have a supportive network for the residents that have moved on to become independent. It's a wonderful program. It's right in the heart of Santa Monica. And, you know, it's an area considered one of the wealthiest in California, if not the country, which just goes to show that hunger is all around us. We are so grateful for these partnerships. So watch now and you'll see what I'm talking about.
So my name's Pete Lehmar, and I'm the chef here at Gladstone's. I'm originally from Denmark, but I'm living here in Southern California right now and living the dream. I was cooking in kitchens throughout college years, and I worked at a couple of different restaurants. One of the restaurants I worked at, it was a busy Saturday night. I'm a line cook, and the owner walked past the chef and past the sous chef through the kitchen with a plate that just came back from the dining room. He came to me and he asked me if the shrimp was still good on the plate. With one smell, I could tell that something was bad with the shrimp. So I knew there was something important about him wanting to reach out to me to ask about the plate. The next thing that happened was another restaurant that I worked at in the near future. The owner did a winemaker dinner, and he brought in a French chef who started a week before the dinner, and he made things I'd never even seen or heard of before. He made galantines and ballantines, and I got to work with this guy for a whole week. And then came the day of the party, and Sunday night we entertained 50, 60 people in the dining room. And after we served several courses, we got to go out and get a standing ovation from the crowd. We got to walk around and talk about the food with the people, and of course we got to drink a little wine. And I knew right then that the chef was calling me. So the next morning I made arrangements to go to Europe, and I moved to France a short time later. I learned to speak French, read, write, and speak French, living with my family. And I went to some interviews at various culinary schools in France, and that's where I learned of the Culinary Institute of America in Hyde Park, New York. Back then there was no internet, so I had to go to the railroad station, make a click phone call to my mom in Oklahoma, and ask her to research the Culinary Institute of America in Hyde Park, New York. And she did that. After about 2.5 years, I was back in the States. I applied to school there, and I graduated in '87. I've lived out here ever since. I was working at another restaurant here in town, and the owner came into that restaurant, and he'll tell you that I can speak very knowledgeably on the halibut that I'm serving. He can tell you that I'm almost poetic in my description of oysters. And so one day I was riding my bicycle down here at the Pike, and I saw Gladstone's under construction. And I was like, wow, that's interesting. I remember the owner coming in to visit me. So I went and got my resume, came back to the construction zone. I gave it to the foreman that was here building this place. And the next morning, my phone rang, and the rest is history. I've been working here since the day we opened in 2004. We have several great dishes here at Gladstone's. We have the lobster mac and cheese. We have the Parmesan crusted halibut, the lobster, shrimp, and crab linguine pasta. One of my favorites is the Ahi Special, and that's just something that I've really enjoyed making. It's a true Pacific Rim type of dish. So what brought me to work with Food Finders is, well, this is an a la carte restaurant, so I really don't have a lot of food left over here in Gladstone's because we serve a la carte. But across the street is a very large convention center. And I think one of the biggest challenges for being a chef is you'll have a party of 100 people, but 150 people show up. So now you've got to scramble in order to get food out for those people. The other challenge is you've got a catering contract that says there's going to be 200 people, but only 125 people show up. Well, it's real hard to make another special out of leftover food that we can sell onto the menu here at Gladstone. So here comes the Food Finders, and I've given them a call, I don't know, 10, 12, 14 times a year when I have legitimately extra food left over from a banquet. And when the owner of the party or the party host asks, what are you doing with all the extra food? I say, well, it's going to go to a charity tomorrow. The Food Finders is going to help make sure that people in need of food are going to get fed. So I'm more than happy to give that extra food to the Food Finders. Well, so the Ahi Special, it's taken on an evolution of its own over years and years and years. I've served it with baby bok choy and a few other things, but it's just so much fun to be a chef and to be able to create something and to be able to put things together onto a plate, starting with the fresh ahi tuna that we get. I work with a couple fishermen here locally. I also work with some boats in Hawaii. So oftentimes I get product that's flown in here that's been swimming 24 hours ago, which I just love. But you can tell, you can see the fish, you can see how it's just sitting out there in front of you with its color and its richness, and you just know that this is a fresh product. Most of our produce comes in fresh. We do have a sushi bar here at Gladstone. So here's a dish that takes sushi rice as a bed that went right onto the plate. We sauteed locally grown shiitake mushrooms, and we did that in a little sesame oil to give it the Pacific Rim flavor that it has. We have locally grown spinach that was sauteed in garlic, and of course garlic comes here from Gilroy, California, garlic capital of the world. So here we are with the freshest garlic ever. And we bring those two together onto the plate with the sushi rice. And now we've seared the tuna, real simple, salt and pepper, but we've seared it in olive oil. I don't want to overpower the plate with sesame oil, but just in olive oil. Nice little sear, so it's still raw on the inside and nicely brown on the outside. And when you saw how it was just set right on top of the rice, we've made a pan soy sauce with soy sauce, rice wine vinegar, water, and we thicken that with a little cornstarch. Very simple. It's one of my aunt's favorite dishes. Whenever she visits from Europe, this is the dish that she orders. But that one over the top, we've got wasabi that goes into some creme fraiche that we mix together, and we put that over the top through the piping bag, and we just took the back of the knife and just kind of ran some lines to give it a nice little color there, and then garnished it with some chopped tomato and some parsley. I love creating dishes, and it's just kind of fun to make things look square on a round plate and make things look round on a square plate. So you can see how it was just kind of evenly portioned around the tuna, and there you have it, the Ahi Dinner Special.
My name is Ramona Ruiz. I am the food pantry coordinator here in Santa Monica for Upward Bound House, and I'm also the cook at our Culver City location. We are a transitional housing that bring in homeless families with children. We help them establish employment, permanent housing. We advocate for them, and then we supply their basic needs as far as food, clothing, and all the things that they need to live from, on a daily basis. I came to Upward Bound House coming up on 11 years ago, and initially my position here was a cook at our Culver City location, which we opened up in May of 2010. And then a few years later, I began the pantry coordinator. And my passion is to see people who have struggled or fallen on hard times. Feeding them, I believe, is crucial. Knowing that they're going to sleep at night with a full belly, a roof over their head, the basic essentials that they need, clothing that we provide for them. Also, my passion is just to extend a hand to those that have fallen on hard times and see them become productive out in society once again. I think what makes our organization unique and different is we try to cover all the basics. Not only do we house them, but we help them get employment. We advocate for them. We teach them basic life skills. We provide food, healthy food at no cost to them. And our goal is to get them into permanent housing, which we have a very high success rate of. So I think that makes us stand out a lot more than other places that because we offer a lot of things that other shelters don't offer. Coming into contact with food finders probably about 4 or 5 years ago has been a tremendous help to not only me but to giving out really good food to our families. They network with other businesses and find the right fit. And we fit in perfect with food finders because whenever there's a need arises, I'm able to contact with one of the food finders reps. They get us what we need. The food has always been good, and it's usually local businesses and restaurants that we can make contact with that helps us to add a little bit more to our pantry and to our hot food program that we offer the families. So our aftercare program, how it works for our families such as Tina, who is now in permanent housing. Once we get our families into permanent housing, we have an aftercare program for them, which enables them to come back for a whole year, shop, food, clothing, whatever they need. That way, they're able to save money with the food that we offer to them, the clothing that we offer to not only to them but to their children, even the household items that we offer, basic kitchen supplies, furniture. We offer so many things. That way, it helps them get on their feet, stabilize their financial income, so that they can remain in permanent housing. Okay, so in the morning I come in, I open up our pantry, and one of the first things that I do, I start restocking, you know, going through all the things, making sure that when our families come shopping twice a week, that they have the basic essentials. As families live here, I build a relationship not only with them but with their children. I know their likes and their dislikes. So when I'm out there networking, trying to get food, I try to obtain the foods that they like, what kids like, and so it's knowing when they leave here after they come shopping and they're excited and tell me, oh, I got this and that. I can't believe you have these chicken nuggets or these ice cream sandwiches or corn dogs, all the little stuff that kids like. It's rewarding because you know that when they go home, they're going to eat. They're going to eat. They're going to be full. They're going to be content. And for me, it's a passion because I don't think anybody should go hungry. We live in a country where there's an abundance of food, and if we can supply the need, that's what we're here to do, to supply the need for these families as they come and they go. And it's rewarding. It's a good feeling to go home at night knowing that the people that you care for, that you come into interaction with every day, are not going to be going to bed hungry at night. And so for me, it's better to give than to receive, and it's very rewarding. So as we've entered into this pandemic phase since March up until the current time, and the kids are not going to school. I think our greatest need is meeting the needs of the children. They would normally be at school and be fed twice a day. But now that they're not in school, the demand is higher for not only nutritional foods, but snack foods. And it's been a challenge, but we've been able to meet it with great organizations like Food Finders, other organizations that we work with. They've been coming through and helping us. But I know that as we continue to go through this pandemic, the need's going to get greater. So the need will be greater. So we just need to continue to trust and believe that we will continue to meet the needs of these families. We will continue to meet the needs of these children by networking, reaching out to other organizations that are willing to help us.
Tina Edwards. I lost my job and I didn't have enough funds to pay for my rent or pay for a hotel. So I ended up going to different shelters in Los Angeles. And I happened to go to Department of Public Social Services, and I met with a homeless social worker, and she did a referral to Upward Bound's house. And I waited about maybe 2 months for the referral to go through, and I ended up moving to Upward Bound House in Santa Monica. There was an employment specialist. They had so much support, like around the clock. The pantry, having access to that twice a week, that was a major blessing. I went to the pantry twice a week, and I was able to prepare my own meals. I was able to get fresh vegetables, a lot of different options like vegan, gluten-free options, just a lot of good stuff, a lot of snacks for my kids. And I moved out last September, and I still have access to the pantry. When I'm able to come, I'm able to get meats and vegetables, dry goods, canned goods, and it helps out a lot. I save about $200 a month, maybe on groceries. I come into the pantry. I just want to say thank you to Food Finders for providing me and my family with food throughout the year.
Chefs to the rescue. That's definitely what this is all about. Those stories you're hearing about, Patty telling us about bringing us into the executive chef meeting, Pete Lehmar over at Gladstone's, which led us to this final segment where we met Ramona and Tina at Upward Bound House. This is what it's all about. This is what Food Finders can continue to do with your help, with your donations. In summary here, what we just learned is that since the pandemic started, food insecurity has tripled in many parts of our country. If food waste was reduced by just 15%, 25 million Americans could be fed every single year. I mean, we've all attended catered events or meetings and have witnessed the tremendous amount of uneaten food. Well, tonight, we learned that Food Finders is the solution. Thank you to Full Riot, who produced these videos over the last few days. I want to thank you to them. We want to look at some of the donations. So if you look over to the right side of the screen, place your cursor there, you can actually scroll. Thank you to Warren and Phyllis. Thank you to Diana, Alicia, Joseph and Pamela, Charles, Gary, Martha, Emma, Monique, Renee, Naphtali, Donald, Kira, Marjorie, Kelly, Lisa, Sarah. The list goes on and on and on. Thank you so much for your donations. We thank you. We're at $35,521. Our goal is $60,000. You can either donate one time or you can set up a monthly recurring donation, which certainly helps create a reliable source of funding year round to help provide food to the communities that we serve. If you've already donated and you're looking for a way to help, go to Facebook, go to our Facebook page, Food Finders. This is life, family and friends. And you like our page, scroll down, look at the videos from tonight once this is completed, from yesterday, from Tuesday and Monday. Share them with your family and friends. I'm pretty sure some of them are looking for a cause, are looking for a movement, are looking for a way to contribute and help those that are in need. And remember, those of you that have donated already, you are entered into the opportunity drawing. There'll be a drawing tomorrow morning, as well as a drawing on Monday. So the drawing tomorrow morning will be for restaurant and food gift cards. And then the fifth and final drawing on Monday will be for a private melting pot food tour, as well as some online gourmet market cards. Please donate now. We ask that you hang on to tomorrow. We're going to actually interview some really cool people involved with Food Finders. They're not chefs, but they are someone who I can't wait to hear from them tomorrow. So tune in tomorrow. Don't forget, right after this video ends, go to Facebook, share the videos, and be able to also, have you already shared the videos, if you can donate, or if you know someone that wants to donate, talk to them and support the cause. This has been Thursday night's Chef to the Rescue. We thank you for watching. We thank all of those that have participated thus far. Thank you to the man behind the curtain, Eric Lada, who is doing the technical stuff in the other room. Thank you, Eric. And we'll see everyone tomorrow. Thank you.